All right, Pickle. It's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Honda. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealer.com to learn more.
So get your questions in. High school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, hair products. You're getting your hair did again.
Hair did tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for that. Because we'll this is your last show for a week.
A week?
You are taking next week off.
I am off all week next week.
And you are going with some friends
Mm-hmm.
to
Cancun.
Wow.
I am not only leaving, I'm out of the country.
You're peacing out.
So I'll celebrate America Day, and then it's out of America.
And so you're going for a week with some friends.
Yep.
Down to Cancun. And you and I were talking. You're going to one of those all-inclusive resorts.
Mm-hmm. And I've never done that before.
And you've never done it.
And so I was telling you, I have been to Mexico before. We took a family vacation out to the West Coast one time and spent a couple days in Los Angeles, did the California thing, and then we actually hopped on a cruise ship for a couple days and took port out of Los Angeles. So I went to Ensenada, Mexico, which is on that the western coast of Mexico. But we were there for 12 hours-ish. We went and walked around, did this high ropes course and stuff, but I've never actually been to Mexico to plant my behind on a beach and not move.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that.
And that is the all-inclusive is basically the only way that Tepwife and I do the vacation now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, obviously things change with kid. But,
right. Yeah.
For example, the last thing we did before the Pandy, if you remember,
literally the week of,
was we went to Cancun to an all-inclusive. And yeah, the week of, we were there as they were doing press conferences about the coronavirus. But that's the only way that we go, because I have and maybe I'm just old enough now to understand this. I don't want vacation to be work.
Yeah, and
I don't want to be strategizing. What are we doing now, and how are we getting there, and then how do we get maneuvering and cramming it all in? I've done that before. I did a European vacation, and you're running around trying to do everything, and that's fine. I don't want vacation to be work. I want to go sit on a beach and have somebody bring me a daiquiri. You know what I mean?
And that was the thing. I told you that too. We always considered our family vacations. We always called them Dad's extreme vacations, and it was, by the time you got back, man, you needed a week's worth of rest to catch up. And I loved doing those trips, cherish those memories like no other. But this will be one of the first times that, I've done the vacation where my only goal is to sit on the beach and drink a margarita.
Yeah.
So it'll be really different, because I think I've got that anticipation of a go, and it's oh no, if I want to go just read a book by the pool, I'm just going to go do that.
Yeah, most certainly. And so I'm excited for you.
The breakfast buffet is something that I can't tell you. They have a breakfast buffet every morning, and I'm that's where
But you've also got to wake up for that. And there is a value to sleeping.
There is.
I'll let you say that.
It might be a mad dash at 9:30 to get down there, load up the plate, and then chill.
But the other thing I'll throw out there, and I don't know specifically what resort you're going to, and I don't know the specifics, but most of those things do have free room service.
Yes, they do.
So you could also just do that. I know that was a big player, and that was always a big player for us. Of if we're just hungry, we'll just have somebody bring us some nachos.
Yeah, and that the whole idea of sitting down at a restaurant and not having to pay for it, obviously you tip and everything, but to not have to pay for it.
So it depends.
Intermittently,
if you read, you should basically read some reviews and stuff and figure out what kind of the thing is. But there are some places that we've been that they're just no, do not tip us. We get paid well enough. You don't need to tip us. Or they'll build it into your bill.
Yeah, there's a gratuity fee.
X number of dollars on gratuity. It's don't worry, that takes care of all your tips, so you don't have to carry any cash around.
Right.
But
it's real weird to think go sit down and have a really nice dinner, and then I don't know, just get up and leave.
Yes.
That seems fun.
That will be strange.
Yeah.
That will be strange for you. But I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're going down there with some friends. You're gonna get to relax and stuff and lay by the beach.
Thank you. That's
so it'll be the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
So say a prayer if you're the praying type that the rain holds off a little bit because it's looking like it's.
There's plenty of fun things to do there. It'll be fun. I'm excited for it.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to some questions. Oh, so by the way, I guess we should say Pickle's off next week, but we still got shows. We're off on Monday because it's a federal holiday.
And then the person you actually want sitting in this seat
then
will be here.
It'll be Tepper and Mallory.
Yeah. We're switching things
up. The Tepper
up.
and Hartley show, and so we'll bring that in, and it'll be fun. We'll have a new producer, different producer next week. So don't worry, we'll still have shows next week. It'll just be with a different producer. All right. Do we have any questions?
We sure do. Let's start off with Jacob McNeil, not John, asked when realigning every 2 years, will the committee consider trying to reduce the size of certain districts that have 9 or 10 teams in them? And that's a regional thing.
So a lot of that comes down to here's the way that UIL realignment works. Is you've got to think of it as like a real process that you take step by step. And the first step they do is they say, all right, which teams, where are the cutoff numbers, right? Where are the cutoff numbers, and which teams are going to be in which classifications? So let's just take Class 6A. Okay, we'll take Class 6A. They're going to say the cutoff number is 2294. Any teams that are 2294 and above are Class 6A, and then below that, they're not Class 6A. That's going to give them, and they do that to have a certain number of schools in the class, right? This year there are, in this realignment setting, there are, I can tell you in a minute, 245 6A schools that play football. Then what they do is they try to make those puzzle pieces fit. That, for example, you take a look at District 1 6A. District 1 6A is easy because this year it was the easiest district they drew.
Yes.
There were 8 El Paso schools.
And yes,
that ain't near anything else. And so it's like, cool, you're District 1, right? But I think to your point is that you look at another district like when you get into more metro areas, that's where you have these kind of interesting situations of how do you break them up. For example, there is, I believe it's a 9-team district, District 31 6A, that they are, that's down in the Rio Grande Valley. Now, there are 2 RGV districts down there. There's a 9 and there's an 8. I don't get the feeling that they want to give the Rio Grande Valley more than 2 districts. Like, you wouldn't want it to be – I think they're okay with 9-team districts because the problem is if you break it up even further,
then
what do you go? You go 6, 6, and 5 or something like that. That may be smaller, but is that necessarily better? And by the way, that's going to make some other district – it's a ripple effect.
Yes.
It's going to make some other district bigger. You know what I mean? So the answer to your question is no. The answer to your question is the UIL doesn't necessarily look at what realignment was in the past. They may use that as a little bit of a guide, but they don't necessarily use that as gospel. Like, it's not a precedent set. For example, I think one of the shocking things this past realignment, I know it seems like eons ago, if you remember, that they split up Allen from the Planos.
Yeah.
The Plano schools and Allen were always in the same district. And then what they did was they sent the Plano schools kind of, west over to Coppell and Flower Mound and Louisville. And they sent Allen north to McKinney and to Denton Guyer and stuff like that. So they I think you talk to the UIL, they'll tell you that every realignment is it's a blank slate. We know that's not necessarily true because they do have some sort of past to go off of, but they're not looking at a team that's like, oh, they're in a 10-team district. Let's try to put them in an 8-team district this year. They just try to make it fit as best they can that's most equitable to the most teams. That's kind of the way that it works.
Yeah, you have to do regions that way too.
Boy, yeah, it's gonna be snapshot season soon.
Yep.
It's realignment is coming.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a live show from Birdville this time. That's a jerky thing to say to you right before you go on vacation.
Kick me while I'm down.
You were that was maybe the most upset I've ever seen you.
Because
we couldn't get the soundboard to work. That was it.
Furious.
We just couldn't get the soundboard to work.
It was everything else was perfectly fine.
Amazing.
We had set up all of it, and the sound said, "Nope."
Incredible. All right, what's next?
I will get my revenge on realignment day. Rob Hadaway, with several Texas QBs at the Elite 11 camp, which is going on now over there in California. Any update or do y'all follow it? Saw a ranking last night online. Cade Klubnik, Quinn Ewers, Connor Wegman, Nick Evers. Then there was Malik Murphy, a Longhorn commit. And I think we've heard that Klubnik has been putting on a clinic out there.
So we follow it. We follow it. You know, we don't have anybody out there, right?
No.
What is it? It's in Vegas and
no, it's in LA, isn't it? Yeah.
The guy that we'd been hearing a lot about was Cade Klubnik. That he had really been showing out, that he'd been really sharp. I don't think it's any surprise that he's been great. I don't think it's any surprise that Quinn Ewers has been great. I don't think it's any surprise to anybody who's been paying attention. I've been trying to tell you how good Connor Wigman is. And then Nick Evers, who we had on the show. This is an elite, and I'm not pun intended, I suppose. Class of 2022 in the quarterback ranks in Texas, and they're showing out. The guy that I've been hearing a lot of was Klubnik. That's the name that's been coming up, and I think maybe people are surprised. I think because of Ewers, and Ewers is by many metrics the #1 quarterback in America.
Yeah.
I think, especially because he's in Texas, I think that he kind of sucks up a lot of the oxygen in the room.
Yes.
Whereas Klubnik has been razor sharp and looked really good, and I think in any other year, people would be going kind of gaga over him. Maybe he's flying under the radar, as much under the radar as a Clemson commit can be.
Right.
But I think people are starting to realize, ooh, this kid's really good.
I was going to say, I think it's almost just anyone who has watched him knows how good he is, and it's like this gave a platform to a much more national crowd, and they're going, oh, whoa, how do we miss this guy?
Yes, most certainly. So yeah, I'm sorry, somebody just sent me photos of Dave, which I actually need. Thank you.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Rod from the Waco trip. Yes, so the guy that I've been hearing a lot about is Cade Klubnik. That's not to say that the other guys aren't doing great, because I mean, I think Quinn Ewers is just going out there and being Quinn Ewers.
If you got invited to that camp, you're pretty good at throwing
the other
the football.
thing is that I think Quinn Ewers is being Quinn Ewers. He's just being excellent. But I think that the surprise has maybe been Klubnik and maybe Evers to a certain extent, and maybe Wigman. If y'all aren't on the Connor Wigman bandwagon yet, it's like, okay, you're bad. Anyway, what's next?
Some housekeeping type things. Do you know when high school schedules will be up on the website? That comes from Ed.
Working on that. Where right now I can tell you, because it's our good buddy Jerry Forrest who gathers them. Right now we've got about 900, almost 1,000 schedules. We're waiting for a little bit more. My hope is in a couple weeks. My hope would be that we can have the schedules up on the site, let's say.
I think Step said after coaching school is when he really sits down and hammers that out.
I would really like it to be up. This is me personally, and maybe I'm just issuing an edict to my staff to get to work in 3 weeks. July 23rd, I think, would be a really nice date to have all the schedules up on our site. So we are working on that. That is something that's on our radar. We will have that up on TexasFootball.com as soon as we can. We're just kind of waiting on. There's still teams that haven't put out their schedule yet, and so we're still waiting.
Will is very good too. If you are looking for specific stuff, he's very good about retweeting and or posting on Instagram a lot of the schedule. So that's a good little pool for you to go look in. Another thing, and this is also from Ed. This fall, will Ish be listing the top streaming games each week? I'm not getting rid of the butt groove guide. Putting in my voice here.
We're still gonna do that. We're still gonna have like a streaming like guide and stuff like that. Like keep an eye on this. It may not be as comprehensive because I think there's gonna be more games, which is good. So we're not gonna list every game, but what I'll probably do is I'll probably assign Ish, if you're watching, who's about to go on vacation too. I'll probably assign him. Be like, let's go ahead and like identify what game in each slot that you want to do. Like do his own butt groove guide and stuff like that. So we will have that. We will have a guide, and of course, our friends at Texan Live will be broadcasting a lot of those games, Texas high school ball games, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So all right. Do we have one more?
We do. I have one that I'm very interested to hear your opinion on. How do you? This is from Daniel Sanchez. How do you guys feel about high schools playing at college stadiums when they could have their proper high school stadium?
Okay. So are we talking about one-off games, or are we talking about a situation like Stephenville? Because
he said, example, Stephenville playing at Tarleton Memorial.
I have some mixed feelings on it. The Tarleton Stadium is awesome.
Yes.
It's really cool. And if you've got that in your backyard, I think you should go and you should use it. I think there ain't nothing wrong with that. Obviously, I think it depends on the current, like the makeup of the town. And I think Stephenville's a perfect example of a town that I think it fits because that is a football crazy town. They're really big into Tarleton. They're really big into Stephenville High. It's a one high school town. Things like that. What I wouldn't want is for like hypothetically, if let's say
Denton Geyer
start playing at Apogee.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want that.
When there's two other major Denton high school programs there.
Yes, exactly. I don't want that. I don't want La Vega, who drove by on the way back from College Station up there in Belmead. Shout out Coach Hyde. I don't want La Vega playing their home games at McLean. I don't want College Station playing their home games at Kyle. Like that's to me, there are certain circumstances in which it really works in the sense that it is a clear like community tie.
The one school town was really like the part that you said that makes the most sense.
But like for example, I don't want Wichita Falls High playing at Midwestern State
because you can't name one team like at Wichita Falls. You can't just say that Old High is the at this point it's not the program of Wichita Falls.
Exactly right. That's kind of where I'm at on it. So it's a good question. I think Stephenville's a unique situation there. I would prefer.
But you can't have Lake Travis play at DKR and not have Westlake play. I don't
want that.
That's dicey.
I think the one school town, if you happen to have a small college in your town.
Arlington School's playing at Globe Life. That was brought up by Tony Blaylock. That's interesting. Also,
it's a unique situation because, like, what do you do with the Star, right? So let's talk about the Star for a moment. The Star was built in a way, it was built basically as a partnership between Frisco ISD and the Cowboys. That is a professional stadium ostensibly that is also operates as a high school facility. That is that's a one-off situation. The Globe Life situation is interesting too because it was retrofitted to be a football stadium, and I believe Arlington ISD partnered with the city of Arlington and I guess the Rangers. I don't know who owns Globe Life Park.
I think it's still the Rangers.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe
I think
the Rangers.
I honestly think it's a Havsies thing.
But I think they partnered with them to play games there.
But Arlington has always done that because they used to do that at Maverick Stadium too. So that's another thing that's always been that way.
That's the one that's a little bit of an outlier. You know what I mean? Where it's a multi-school district that is playing at a professional or college stadium.
Right.
I don't know. I would prefer that they in my opinion, I'll probably make friends with my friends at the Arlington CVB. I think I would prefer that they play at their home stadium, but your mileage may vary. That's just me. So there you go. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.